Welcome to Comment with me, George Galloway, here on Press TV, still the voice of the voiceless. This is the big conversation. This is the great debate. But only if you join in. That's why, above all, I need your telephone calls on 44208-601-4555. You call us, we'll call you back. Establish a clear line. And remember, if you get on the television with me, the volume on your television has to be at 0 or no one will understand either of us. You can SMS the show on 447800008066 or you can email me at comment@presstv.co.uk. As the Nakba 65th anniversary approaches, 65 years since the catastrophe that wiped Palestine off the map began the stampede of hundreds of thousands of Palestinians off their land, out of their houses, most of which were then systematically destroyed. In a wave of Zionist terror, the Nakba was 65 years ago. It's a long time, but there's still a remarkable number of Palestinians who lived through it are still alive. I was in a Palestinian refugee camp in Beirut just yesterday, talking to old men and women who had lived through that day, 65 years ago, when the first of the catastrophes began. But they make the point that it's almost every day a kind of Nakba, a kind of catastrophe. And so it has turned out again this week, this time on the West Bank as well as in Gaza. Mosques have been attacked, refugees have been attacked, people have been murdered on the West Bank, and they're once again bombarding the Gaza Strip. The talk is, amongst Palestinians outside, I haven't spoken to any inside for a few weeks or so, but on the outside, the talk everywhere is that something has to change. After all, just this very week, a couple of kings, appointed by no one in the Palestinian arena, were offering to swap the land of Palestine with Israel as yet another new Arab quote-unquote peace plan. Well, it's not likely to lead to peace because it won't lead to any justice. And this evening, two of the Palestinian resistance movements have denounced it. But they're going to have to denounce it a little more dramatically than merely issuing a press release. Is a Palestinian intifada imminent? Discuss. And Dave Cameron, the British Prime Minister, today said that, and I quote him, "We have paid a high price in Afghanistan." He was talking in the wake of the death of another 3 young Scottish soldiers, this time, who were blown up by an IED in their heavily armoured vehicle as it patrolled on the outskirts of Kandahar. You'll remember Kandahar, Helmand province. That's where the British Defence Minister, Dr. John Reid, now Lord Reid, said that the British forces would go, and he hoped they would go and be withdrawn in due course without a shot fired in anger. Well, the number of British dead now stands at 444. It was 2 when Britain went into Helmand province. And there's no sign of it slowing up. The Afghan resistance have announced the beginning of what they call their spring offensive. So hold on to your hats and your heads. It's going to be a long, hot summer in Afghanistan for the foreign occupation forces, who've already decided to leave and are already negotiating with the people to whom they're going to leave Afghanistan, the very people they've been fighting for these last 11 years. So what is the point of more British soldiers giving their lives, of more Afghans being killed by the foreign soldiers and their air force and drone attacks? What is the point? I'm only asking. Mohsen's on the line in London. He wants to talk about Israel. Mohsen, welcome.
Hi, George. I think because I just told you I want to talk about the British forces in Afghanistan. basically, I spoke to a number of people. They say the fight is in Afghanistan. It's totally useless. But even the soldiers, they said that they don't know about what they're doing over there. And I have a sympathy with the soldiers' families.
Who's going to be the last man to die, Mohsen? Who wants to be the last man to die in a war, the end of which we already have a date for? The conditions for the end of it have already been announced. So what is the point of more deaths?
Yeah, and because I want to mention one point about this David Cameron comments. And if you can see on the back in the days, and when these